Sydney, thank you for joining us on Intuition, Your First Sons. You'll do a better job than I will of introducing you because I think we know ourselves and what we've done. So can you just let the listeners know who are you, where you're from, what you got to offer, how can you help, just that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, my name's Sydney and I have a little metaphysical shop in Greenwood Lake. We're also online. We're called Crystals of Quartz. So you can find us on Instagram at Crystals of Quartz, and we're located right in the heart of cute little Greenwood Lake, New York, which is seated on a beautiful lake. If you're not familiar with the area, we're right across from the most adorable little church. It's just very, very cute. But yeah, we have a whole store full of pretty much any tools you would need if you're getting into a spiritual practice. We also love to teach people. So we're really just like a safe space for anyone to come in and share where they're at in their journey and maybe get a couple of tools to help them along the way, like a crystal or a singing bowl or, any number of other things, maybe a piece of jewelry. We just like to really help people figure out where they're going. We have a little chat. We have like herbs, that kind of thing. And yeah, we just like to help people further their spiritual journey from wherever they're at.
And I love that it's available online, especially right now,
Yeah.
and that you can poke through. My husband and I had a shop. I had a shop for probably 15 years, but it wasn't one that you could just walk in 7 days a week. And then we ended up opening one for exactly this reason.
Yeah.
And in our area, I'm in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and there just wasn't anywhere for people to get even smudge sticks or black salt or, that kind of thing, books and music. And I don't miss retail. I will be 1,000% clear on that. I don't miss it at all. I miss the community that it created. Yeah. And I still am blessed to feel that here locally. But I do miss the teenagers coming in and just popping on the floor and flipping through a book. And
that's really what it's all about, is the community. And that was because I started out online and I had a community virtually, but what I really wanted was to create a local safe space for people to come into and just be themselves, because when I was growing up, there was absolutely nowhere to go if you were looking for that sort of thing. And I just think it's such a positive outlet to have for young people, for people of really any age, because people have spiritual awakenings at any point during their life. It's never too late. It's never too early. So yeah, and we really do just like love having people in there. COVID's made it a little hard to have people just hang out like we originally intended, but we still like try to keep it as open as possible and respecting all the safety guidelines and just doing our thing. And we've been like I talked to you before, we do some events here and there, like psychic fair kind of things. We usually have readers in on the weekends. And the fairs have been awesome. We have people it's outside in our backyard. We do like social distance. Everybody wears a mask. I'm very on top of that. And we just bring so many cool people to the community, which is what I really love. Just to talk a little more about community in general, with our fairs, we bring people from all over. From different states, locally, like at the surrounding states, people will come from. They drive really far. And then what happens is that flows over into our community, our other businesses. And the other businesses say, I never see people walk around this town like they do now, like during these fairs. And it's just, it just pours over, So it's really nice to be able to give back to the people that are doing the readings and having the booths where they're vending their artisan wares. And then also, not only that, but it flows into the rest of the community as well. And the people that come feel really good when they leave. So I don't know, it just makes my heart so happy to know that like there's like that chain reaction. And it's obviously great for me too. It's great for the community. It's great for the readers. It's so nice to see that ripple effect when you try to do like something good and it really just actually works. It's so nice.
Right. And that's the premise I have worked on I've been doing this 20 years. So that I've worked on too is that ripple effect, because you may not know what the effect is. And I think that's even okay, because then you don't get attached to it. But by creating that, like you carry the local artists, and because it's so hard sometimes for them. Not every artist is going to rent a whole space or have that availability, but if you can bring them in, my husband, who's since passed, but he was big on that. Like he really, well, he was a nature photographer, so I feel like he met his people, so it creates that, and that ripple effect goes out beyond the geographical, it goes out into the universe and,
Yes.
may impact someone across the world and you don't even know what that is. So raising of the vibration is part of the reason. I mean, that's why I love stones so much. I got them everywhere around here.
Yeah.
And that I feel like right now is also, it's always been important, but right now I feel like it's even more significant where people are feeling more and more anxiousness
Yes.
and then never mind the levels of openings that are happening, on a universal front. I've been saying to people, you think it's the stress of election and COVID and everything, but this stuff is going to happen anyway.
Yep.
Yes, that adds to it. So to have a place like yours, sometimes people would say to me, our store was called Connections, and they would say to me, can I get the smell at home? I'm like, well, you're going to need about 80 types of incense and, some salts and some sage sticks. You could, but that just taking that breath of walking into a space and just taking that breath may be the only deep breath somebody's taking nowadays.
That's so true. That's so true. It's so nice to know that you can be like that moment for someone. And it's funny, when you said that, I just lit up because that's the same thing. Most people, when they walk into the store, they go, what is this smell? What do you burn? And I'm like, honestly, we don't burn much.
Right.
We use sage daily or some other cleansing technique. Sometimes a singing bowl works to cleanse too. Mm-hmm. But really, we don't burn one regular incense every day. It's just an accumulation of all the different things in the store. Like we have these great Reiki-infused candles. We have all this awesome incense. It's the sage. It's the moon water that I spray every now and then. Yeah. But it's also the energy. And
right.
I think some people have, there's all different types of clairers, right? So yeah. there's one where it involves smell, and that can really affect you. Mm-hmm. There's all those different things, but I think some people really connect to the smell and it makes them feel really good. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny that you say that, because it's true. It's like you really can't bottle the exact smell of a metaphysical shop, right? Yeah. But it's something really, really nice that hits you right away, and it just feels good. And it's nice to know that people enjoy that too. Yeah, for sure.
And they can, you can create that in your home. I know for myself, Nag Champa's my go-to. Like if I'm feeling any kind of I'm like, Vicky, light it, take a breath, because you can know all of this stuff and still have your own challenges because we're human, right? So, so the teaching that you do there, you have events, and are you teaching classes? Are you offering anything like that right now? Is that even possible? I'm not sure what the protocols are.
We do workshops pretty frequently. Since COVID, it's been a little bit difficult, but I do hope, if everything goes well number-wise and, we stay physically open, I'm hoping to have a lot of workshops sort of post the holidays. Until the holidays, I think most people are a little too busy, but we're going to have a lot of them after, should everything continue to stay okay and people are staying healthy. But yeah, we plan on doing a lot of candle making workshops, ritual type workshops on essential oils. I actually have one. I might actually do an essential oil workshop in the next few weeks. I think you're posting this after, but we're trying to get a lot of workshops going now that it seems like we're sort of figuring it out. Because the whole thing is just having to really be flexible through all these changes, and just figuring out what really works and what is safe to do, and that kind of thing. But yeah, we really do plan to have a lot of workshops on the books shortly. So if anyone's listening to this, maybe by the time it comes out, we'll have some planned. So check out our website and see. But yeah, I really do hope to be a space of absolutely learning too. And we do sell books too. So in the meantime, we may not be able to physically teach you, but we can definitely offer a book. Or I also have a YouTube channel, which is called Spiritual Muse, where I do some teachings and I take requests on questions too. So yeah, we're trying to just continue to spread that information and that love. And I also post a lot on Instagram, different sort of tips and tricks kind of things. But yeah, and I'm always here to answer questions for anyone until the point when we can do more workshops again and really get that all squared away.
Yeah, and I'll link all of that in the show notes so people don't have to. I know when I'm listening to a podcast, I'm usually either at the gym or I'm cleaning or something, and I'm like, I don't have anything to write down with right now. So I like to put the links in the show notes so people know that they can just go there, click, and get to where they need to be. because there's enough juggling happening in life without trying to find that one connection link that you heard. And I feel like the more that we can help people understand that their immune system is more than their, scientific physical makeup, simply by having the salt lamp or by smudging your home, smudge yourself. I was at a friend's shop not too long ago, and I was like, come here. It's not the shop, fine, I'll do that for you, but you come here. And literally, I'm like, spin, you need all of this to be cleared off, because that gets attached. And I feel like when people walk into your space, that may be some of what they're experiencing, right? Because the vibration's high enough, it almost works as a releaser of stuff, which is why it's important that you clear, because people do, they don't mean to, but they drop their stuff everywhere.
So. Absolutely. That's why we use some form of clearing or cleansing technique every morning when we open and every day before we leave, just to make sure. And sometimes, throughout the day, we just feel like it's getting a little heavy, we'll do something. Yeah. And we're always playing the singing bowls in there and usually burning some sage throughout the day. Or lately I just made a full moon water cleansing spray. So when people leave the store with something, I'll cleanse it before they go, which has been really nice. And it just smells delicious. Yeah. So it can't hurt, right? Yeah. But I guess maybe, I don't know how much your listeners know about cleansing, but do you want me to talk about a couple ways they could do that?
Absolutely. Because even if they know, I always learn something new. I like, the way that I've taught it is, you can talk about the different ways, but I go simple. Like, stop making this so dang hard, people. So I'll be interested to hear some of yours in addition to, because more is always better, because I think we resonate with different ways.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things I love to tell people when they come into my store is it's all about your personal intuition. So like, I can suggest a crystal to you, I can suggest something else to you, but at the end of the day, you should follow your gut, your third eye, and listen to what feels good to you. So in general, when doing any of this work, like whatever I say, take what you like and leave the rest. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. And that goes for any spiritual teacher, in my opinion, or anyone you come across on the street. Your opinion matters most, right? Because what makes you feel good is what's important. And that's what it's all about to me, is feeling good and then spreading that in the world as well. Mm-hmm. But for cleansing, when it comes to like cleansing yourself or cleansing a room, I love to use different types of sage and herbs, and you can just burn it and you just literally run it up and down your body, back and front, and you just take some deep breaths and you just let it go. You should also, if you're indoors, you should have a door open when you're saging to let the energy go out, so it doesn't linger in your home. Yeah, don't trap that stuff. And same goes when you're doing that in your home. You go around all the windows and the doors with the sage, and you always want to have something open so that it doesn't stick with you, right? Right. So that's saging, which is very fun to do. If you haven't done it, give it a try. It smells really good. I like to think it actually smells like Thanksgiving. So this time of year, it's a kind of a homey feeling. And then the same thing is basically as that is what I do with my moon water that I make, which is my type of cleansing spray that you can use. And it's the same thing, but it's non-smoke based. So some people don't like smoke, and using a spray is something you can also do anywhere, right? You could do it even maybe at work, possibly, if there's not like an issue with that. Because I know some people still have like allergies to smells, but you definitely can't burn anything at work or on the go. But you can, I guess you could do it on the go if you had the right environment. But the sprays work well because you can really do it mostly anywhere. And it's the same thing. You just spray your whole body, you spray the whole space the same way you would sage. You can do the same thing with a singing bowl. If you have one, you can take it around the space and cleanse the different things, cleansing yourself. The beauty of a singing bowl is that it rearranges the water in your body, which is what we're made of, and it helps to really cleanse things out or just get things flowing that were stagnant. Mm-hmm. So I really love sound meditation. Me too, yeah. And those are some of my favorites, but you can also use a couple of crystals to cleanse yourself and your space, which is my two favorite are amethyst, which is the one everybody pretty much goes to first. It's the stone of spiritual awakening. The bright purple stone you're probably familiar with. Mm-hmm. That one is very cleansing and it doesn't pick up negative energy. You can keep that anywhere in your home. and it's going to help the energy flow. Same thing with selenite. It doesn't pick up negative energy. That's a white stone you might be less familiar with. You probably are, Vicki. It's a white sort of shiny looking stone. It's also called gypsum. It has a few different names. Satin spar, some people will refer to it as. And that one is also really good for cleansing. You can wave that around your aura. And if you guys aren't familiar with an aura, it's like the energy field around your body. People sometimes say they can see it in different colors. And you'll basically just kind of wave it around your aura and cleanse anything off. We also have some selenite knives that I really like, because if you feel something attached to you, you can kind of cut it off if it's something feeling a little more chunky. But I love selenite. You can also put selenite in a grid around your house. I mean, I could talk about cleansing all day, but maybe we'll just leave it there, because I could give you so many suggestions. In terms of cleansing crystals, it's really good to use selenite or amethyst to cleanse your crystals themselves. That's something some people forget to do, is that when you have crystals, you need to care for them, and they're working for you, so you have to also give back to them. So you can cleanse them in the other ways I mentioned, but you can also cleanse them with amethyst or selenite, because they don't pick up negative energies. Yeah, I guess one more thing I would like to say about cleansing, because this is something that comes into my shop a lot that I like to kind of teach people about. A lot of people, when they have crystals, they want to just put them out under every full moon. And while that's beautiful, that's actually for charging them and not cleansing them. So if you don't cleanse your crystals before you put them under a full moon, you're amplifying whatever energies are in them.
Exactly.
So I like to recommend that you always cleanse your crystals before you do any sort of charging, but definitely during a full moon. And you may also not want to put your crystals out under every full moon, depending on the energies. And if you're not that into astrology or what's going on in the sky, again, you can check out my YouTube channel. That's where I talk about a lot of that. I also talk about it on my Instagram. But I'm really into astrology as well. So I like to kind of pay attention to what's going on in the sky as well. There's just so many avenues you can take spirituality into. I love to read tarot as well. I don't know if you do, Vicki.
I was always too lazy for tarot.
Okay.
Because I think some of it is my own wiring that I definitely have used and offered them in, like, if I was teaching an oracle card class, of course tarot cards were included. But I always joke that I'm just too lazy. I'm just going to look at the movie screen that's in my head and go from there, because I really tried in the beginning, because I like structure. I mean, my background is in healthcare finance, and, I'm a Taurus rising. I like structure, all that stuff. But I found I do the whole session and never flip a card over. And I'm like, why am I carrying these? Like, So I am not the go-to for that. I have always know other people. If you are interested in learning, I think it's a wonderful self-divination tool. And I think there's so much that can be learned from it. I was just too lazy. There was too much other stuff floating.
The thing is, it's just another tool. So, I mean, I own a store, but I will at the same time tell you, you don't need anything yourself. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to come in and get a tool to further your practice, that's beautiful. I love it. Come on in. But really, you just need, like I always say, your own intuition is what's most important. And if you're nurturing that and you're meditating, you can literally just sit with your breath, and that's enough of a spiritual practice. You don't need anything. You can do it for free, right? Yeah. But so I think that's beautiful that you don't feel the need for tarot cards. For me, it was actually, that was my spiritual awakening, was my mother gave me a deck of cards, and I found I really connected with it, and I love being able to read through the images. But it's not for everyone. Just like crystals might not be for everyone, And I think that's beautiful that we can come to this path through different ways, through meditation, through yoga, through tarot, through crystals, through who knows it, through a crazy life event, right?
Exactly.
But I think it's all just kind of tools that can help us along. But at the end of the day, your breath and your mental state is probably the most important thing that you can have to count on. That's your most important tool.
It is, because you go wherever you are. And, even in the cleansing sense, it's true. You might be in a situation where someone else is projecting their stuff, and they might not know it, but some people do. To be able to be aware of your own energy field and your aura, and how to invoke and to shine the light, you can clear a situation very easily by learning how to do that. And you do that by connecting in with yourself, to your point.
Yes, I totally agree. Like, you can do that just with your own energy. If you're feeling good and strong enough to do that, I totally agree. Yeah, I think that's awesome. That it really is definitely possible. It's not always easy to do, and sometimes the sage and the tools, they're great and they're helpful, and if you have them, use them, right? Because that's what they're here for, as helpful tools for us in this life. And they're here to help us, so why not use them if we need them, right? I think these days we could all maybe use a little extra bump.
Well, I think they can be a wonderful catalyst. Like I said earlier, if I'm feeling like a little twisted up, maybe it's been a bumpy client week or something, because people hurt, and that's my specialty, is helping people release those hurts. So sometimes it can get a little heavy, and so that's the saging. That's for myself. Sure, can I clear it? Yeah, but the ability to have those and to use the products, it just alleviates the need to do one more thing for and with self. And then that might help you take the deep breath, which is the rejuvenation factor, which then says, okay, I do have this. Because it might be, going into the holidays, even though some might be getting together, some might not. And there's a lot of emotion that goes along with that. You might not feel like you have the fortitude to be, shining a little extra light out there, clearing things up. Yes. So get the selenite wand, get the smudge out, the meditation, the bowls, I love some of the music channels that are available through streaming right now. And sometimes I'll play that, or the track Eternal Om. I'll play that in the background, because I'm like, I don't have anything. My physical self is tuckered out.
I feel you.
So, and
I
there's
think really, I don't know if you're familiar with like Abraham Hicks.
Oh yeah, of course.
Attraction.
Of course.
I figured. But so yeah, when I'm having a hard day sometimes, and I feel sort of like I got pushed out of alignment for one reason or another, because right, it's a practice, right? We're never perfect all the time.
We can't be.
And I'll look that up real quick, and I'll just get like a little rampage in of some law of attraction. You are worthy. All good things are coming to you. It's all good, right? Yeah. And sometimes we need that, right? No matter how generally aligned we are, or how spiritual we are, sometimes we all have a tough day, and we all need whatever it is that helps us. And I think the important thing is knowing what it is that you need to kind of get back on track with your positive mental state. Right,
which takes actually taking the time to get to know that, and to not just follow what the product of the week is, or the suggestion of the week, or anything. Yeah, my husband would be like, you do know we're supposed to sell stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but they only needed that one little citrine. They didn't need to fill their whole cart full of stuff. And he's like, And, so he was the balance to it. But that, arriving in that space, a lot of the teaching that I do is that we really have to appreciate that we're human. And appreciating that we're human means that we cannot be in alignment 100% of the time. It is impossible. So there's some kindness towards self in realizing that. And however, I think a responsibility not only to ourselves, but again, that ripple effect, to pause and to say, what does work for me? Like I can do the lower tone singing bowls, but if you get those crystal ones out, I'm out. I'm out. My ears are way too sensitive. But gong bath, you won't get rid of me.
See, I love them both. We have the crystal bowls, and since they all come in like the different frequencies, I just think they're fantastic. But the brass ones are actually awesome too.
Yeah, I appreciate you being with us and for sharing your knowledge. And
and thank you. I loved connecting with you. I hope we get to connect more in the future. And thank you for being flexible with me and my crazy schedule.
It's fine. It's good. Flexibility is one of our superpowers right now. So enjoy. Have some cranberry sauce. We'll talk later.
Take care.
Okay, bye. Thank you for listening to Intuition, Your First Sense. I'm so grateful to have you here. It's like a gift to me every week. And speaking of gifts, did you know that you can purchase gift certificates on my website, VickiBaird.com, for yourself, for others? You can purchase coaching packages and gift those out. and you can allow yourself to be part of this great holiday season. I so love being part of the gift giving and the gift receiving. So please head on over to vickibarrett.com and purchase your electronic gift certificate.